A very warm welcome to all. So, this is the Intern Diaries edition. I'm Nitish D from the ET department, third year student, College of Engineering, Guindy. So, as part of the Intern Diaries series from the Guindy Times, today we have Pranav Chandar, who is doing his fourth year computer science and engineering in our College of Engineering. So, who has completed his summer internship at ESA. So, he is here to share his experience. Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
So, first of all, congrats for for the internship you did.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, yeah, let's start with interview. So, how did you come across this opportunity from ESA?
It was through the placement cell of our college. It was through CUIC. They usually release a schedule of various companies visiting our campus during the start of an academic year. It was actually during the start of my third year. Once they released the schedule, all the companies visited, and Visa was one among them. Then I gave the test and got selected.
Yeah, that's great. So, as you told, there are apparently many rounds in an interview process. So, could you please share with us about the interview process and how many rounds of interview were there and the level of difficulty of each and every round?
Yeah, sure. So, considering Visa, first there was an online test. Visa sent an test link to all those who applied. That is not the case with some other companies. Those who do an shortlisting based on the resume or CGPA. It was not like that here. They sent the test link to everyone who applied. Then the online test was for 1 hour. There were 2 coding questions. Both were medium hard level. One was from graphs, if I remember correctly, and the other one I forgot because it was near ago. Then after that, 17 students were shortlisted from that online test. And we had an managerial interview. There was only one round when we consider Visa. So it was a managerial round where senior leaders from the company interview us, both from the technical as well as the HR perspective. Like the first half of my interview, I had a technical view where they asked me some basic questions on database management systems and also a coding question. And the other half was purely a HR interview, like how I'm fit to that particular role. And then they selected 10 of those 17 who got interview called.
Okay, wow, that's really great. That was very elaborate. So, as you said, there are many rounds, and for preparing for those for these interviews and coding rounds, I think there are many resources available in the internet to prepare, but only few of them are the best. So, according to you, what are those kind of resources through which we can prepare for these interviews?
So, okay. First of all, we should not be so specific about the company during the course of our preparation. That is, before we see the schedule, we should be generic in preparation. And when we consider the resources, first thing that I would stick to is the syllabus of college. As I'm from computer science department, I had a clear idea of what the syllabus is and what the industry demands. So my preparation was aligned with the curriculum of data structures and algorithms paper, which we had, computer science department, and also the database management systems paper, and also the operating systems paper. This was the base. Then after that, coding is also an important key. So for coding, practice is the only option. So it is like once you start coding, you feel I am not able to get it. I have to see through the solutions to get the hold of this question. So once we have a good level of practice, we will be able to get an idea of how to approach the question. Then for coding, my suggestion would be to use LeetCode because it has an ample number of test cases that will check all the possible options for that question. Then when we consider these subjects, the articles in Geeks for Geeks will be of immense use apart from the textbooks. I'm not a person who reads the complete textbook because it seems a kind of boring for me. So I see the topics which are present in the books and get an article from the GFG, look into it. If I'm not able to get it, there are many YouTube channels that are available through which I can get an ample knowledge from them. So if I have to name a few, I would name Take You Forward, that is a YouTube channel run by Striver. And also there is a one called Back to Back SWE or something. So it was also helpful for some complex topics like dynamic programming and etc. So once we have a basic preparation during this course, when we get the schedule, then we should look for the questions which were asked in these companies in the previous years. Like in GFG, there is an option to filter the questions based on the company. Like the previous day of Visa's test, I filtered out the questions that were asked previously in Visa. There were around 60 to 70 questions, and I was able to look through it. I left a few, but it was of immense use. The other question which I told, like the one was from Graph, and the other one was from the questions which I had gone through before the test. It was not exactly the same question, but it gave me a clear idea of what it is and how to approach it. So the basic preparation from the subjects and a good coding will help you. Yes.
Yeah, that's like very elaborate and like very useful also. So yeah, coming to the experience. So could you please like share the experience of working in Visa and the daily routine, the work culture, and like the daily experience, like the daily problems we like get to face and how to solve all those. Like, can you please like share with us for that?
Yeah, sure. We had the opportunity to go offline to Bangalore and do the internships. That was not the case in many companies which were alongside. When we went there, we had accommodation for the entire course of internship, and also there were good transportation facilities to the office, and we were quite comfortable with them. And also, considering the office work, as we were just interns, all the senior leaders gave an interactive session to us where we get a hold of how corporate works, like more of how management works rather than just technically studying Java or C Sharp. We had a hold of how project planning works, how do they start a project, and how do they approach and how do they use the resources over there. And coming from a technical side, we didn't have much work considering that we are just interns. We were given a small task in which our team is particularly working. Like in Visa, it is not that the interns are grouped and given a project and they should complete it. Each intern was put in a real-time team, like a team working on a real-time project, and a small part of it was done by us. So I was in a customer relationship management team, which does some technical software for the sales people and sales executives. So I did a particular part of it which helped the team. So it was a good learning experience rather than just interns grouping up and doing a project like in the college. And also the work culture is obviously good. That is obviously will be good in all the MNCs in my opinion, because I have just seen Visa. It was really good in Visa, and also we were very comfortable and it was good.
That's like very great to hear. So like reading there, like could you also like share how your resume and like how the projects you worked on help you during your interviews?
Yeah, sure. Uh, Thinking about the resume, it was from the seniors whom I got many things. Like I saw the resume of many seniors who got placed in good companies, and I got a idea of what the company is expecting from the resume. It is need not be the case that the company needs a perfect resume or so. They just need to know the information that we have to give them. So it can be, in my opinion, a good resume for an internship student can be in one page, because we have just completed 2 years of college. And also we should focus more on projects and the technical skills which we possess, and also the responsibilities which we held, which will highlight the leadership skills that we have. So looking into the projects, I did a project during the uh, end of my first year based on blockchain. It was out of my own interest on cryptocurrency. I read some news about the cryptocurrency and I was quite interested on looking into blockchain. So I did a course on Udemy and did a project as a part of it. So I quoted those projects in the resume, and also the one which I did for the DBMS curriculum. So those were only the two projects that was present in my resume. And also when it was Visa's interview, Visa is a payment technologies company. So the interviewers were very much interested on the blockchain project. Our interview basically started with that project actually. he started with how you are able to identify a project like the one which is not done by many others. Then I told it was out of my own interest on cryptocurrencies and so, and he asked a bit of questions about that project, and there was a part where I wasn't able to answer, and I told that it was just out of my own interest and I will learn it. So it is need not necessary that we answer everything that is asked in the interview. Interviews will be okay if we say we will look into it. As of now, I am not aware of it.
Yeah, like that's really great. So, like next, like talking, like according to you, what are the do's and don'ts during the interviews?
So considering interviews, the first and main thing is like we should not be taking a decision in between the interview. Like if we answer one or two questions wrong, we will immediately decide that this interview is gone and I will not answer the rest of the questions well. So the interviewer just needs a particular minute or second to decide that I'll be fit for that role. So that minute can either be during the start of my interview or during towards the end of my interview. So we should not take a decision and leave the hope in between the interview. It is one of the big mistakes that I see people are doing. And also considering the don'ts, we should not be like more hesitant to talk. During the interviews, it is in the intent of our speech how the interview is going. So if we are about to give an answer, we should be quite lengthy. Like we should not answer in a single word or single line to what the interviewer asks. Then he might be in a position to ask the other question. So if we give a bit lengthy answer, it will be like more of a conversation rather than just a Q&A session.
Okay. So, like great. So after the internship like got over, that to offline. So what were the key takeaways from it, and especially how did like how did that internship help to improve your interpersonal skills? So yeah.
Okay, so after the course of my internship, we had a final project presentation. Like the project which I did during the course of those 10 weeks, I was to present those project in front of senior leaders from Visa, and almost like vice president and my manager and directors were present there. So giving a presentation in front of those people itself was a really overwhelming experience. Actually, I was I have given many presentations in college and school, but it was different. Looking at the environment of those rooms and the people who are sitting in front of you, it was a great experience. And also a takeaway in my opinion is like I understood how a corporate works. Like it is not about that we start coding immediately once we get a project. It involves a lot of planning. It involves all the team members decision. So as a team manager, before we take a decision, we should be in a position to ask each and every team member that will it be fine and will you be able to do it. It does not work like the manager assigns a task to a person and immediately he completes it. So it is more of a discussion process rather than an order giving process. So the understanding of that thing, I would say, is the key takeaway.
That's like really great. So yeah, according to you, like what are the skills one should possess to stay relevant to today's technology-driven world?
So technology is relevant to uh, more people are more fascinated about the machine learning and stuff as of now. So from a perspective of internship and placement, it is not like we should be more and more working into big technologies. We should be working in basic technologies to the best level. So first we should have a good base. So before me understanding how good programming language works, me jumping into machine learning would be a waste. So just that machine learning is a current trend, I should not directly jump into it. We should get a good hold of all the basic things, and then there are many things like blockchain that is currently blooming a lot, and obviously artificial intelligence and everything. So that they can get many sources, but before diving into that, they should have a good hold of the basic things. Like if they had studied Python directly, most of them would not have a good hold of how the internal things of a programming work. So as computer science students, we started with C. During that time, we were like a bit hesitant towards C. Like if it is Python, it will be easy to code and something. Then now only we are understanding that the reason behind the college giving C was understanding the internal things of programming is important when it comes to the current trends.
So yeah, with this we are nearing the end of this great interview. So what's your opinion about the Intern Diaries initiative by Guindy Times?
It's a very great initiative. I have seen the last 2 years, almost all the episodes, and particularly the Visa one. I have seen the person from Purple and the Grey Tag also giving. I did not have a clue that I will be giving from Red Tag. I am very privileged to be a part of this initiative, and I would also like to share a thing to all the persons who are seeing this. For acing an interview, there is a particular trend which the particular company looks from the candidates, so they can get that from their seniors by either reading their experiences or directly talking to them. So in that, computer science department also hosts a platform where all the students give their experiences regarding the online test and the interview process. Just that, as for Visa, I have given the things. So for the rest of the companies, there is a platform where all students can check out on various things.
So yeah, that was like a very informative like piece of thing. So thank you so much. So like thank you for this like and very like all
Thanks
the
a lot.
best, yeah, like all the best for your pre-placement offer as well. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much from like the so yeah, thank you.